Hey friend, this is the Traveling Wellnesspreneur podcast, and I'm your host, Allie Temple. I travel full-time running my dream wellness biz from the tropics, and I want to share with you how you can create a lifestyle of freedom and purpose too. Stay tuned for inspiring and fun conversations that will empower you to take action towards your dream lifestyle of travel and freedom. Let's get into it. If you didn't catch last week's episode with yoga business coach Amy McDonald, be sure to give that a listen, as that is part one of our two-part conversation. There were lots of wisdom nuggets and truth bombs about being respectful when traveling in foreign countries. I don't want you to miss that. So go give that a listen. And today I'm sharing part two of the conversation, and we're focusing on how to balance business with travel to avoid burnout. So in today's episode, Amy shares more funny and relatable stories that have led her to prioritizing fun and ease in her business and in her travels. Amy also shares some great insight and advice around hosting retreats, and we reminisce over some of the highlights at her Abundant Yoga Teacher Retreat that I got to attend in Thailand earlier this year. Now, before we get to that, just a quick reminder to join my Facebook group for yoga teachers, healers, and wellness entrepreneurs who are working on growing their biz and creating offerings that sell, because the upcoming next live free training is happening next week on December 22nd. So this is going to focus on strategies you can implement to grow your biz in 2024. Check out the show notes for the link and join us in that group for the free live monthly trainings. Now let's get into part two of my interview with Amy McDonald. I know that when you travel to Thailand, you like to sneak in a little bit of business stuff as well. And I know when you were coaching me and I was in Bali, you encouraged me to do my first photo shoot, like a branding photo shoot for my business. This was 2 years ago. I am still using these photos, by the way.
They're good photos.
Yeah, I'm so glad I did that. And that's one of the tips that you often give other yoga teachers and entrepreneurs that are traveling. So that's one that I think you would give. Are there any other tips that you would give when you're considering how to make the best use of your time when you are traveling and working remotely at the same time?
I'm a fan of finding co-working spaces. I like doing that in different places. Oh God, I had a favorite in Bangkok, but it's just kind of nice to be around other people who are getting stuff done. Again, when I was in India earlier in the year, I met some great small business. This woman who's like does food reviews. She has a whole other career, but she's got this wildly successful Instagram. She's an influencer from just going to restaurants and eating stuff. I just met really cool entrepreneurs that I wouldn't have connected with otherwise, just from going to those places. Again, you can go sit in a cafe that's full of people who look just like you and get a whole lot of work done and take a selfie and look at me, I've got a smashed avo on toast. Or you can go see where people who live there, from there, what they're doing, and talk to people. And also just having conversations as a solo female traveler. I end up having, if you're just kind of available and curious, like trying to have conversations with people, being curious and following leads as they arise is also really cool. I met this young designer underneath a monument that I went to go look at because I needed to make content for a reel. And she's just launching her fashion label, and I never would have met her otherwise, just because we were both noodling around by ourselves. So talk to people and interact and follow up on, I'm still following a guy who took me on a walking tour, just me and him. I'm still following what he's doing the help me please. What is it? 75 hard. What's that thing called? You know that?
What? I don't know.
You know that thing, where you first, is it 70 days or whatever, and you do like 2 workouts and a cold plunge and blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah, that sounds like right up your alley.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. Not, but like I love going to co-working spaces, and I really enjoy meeting individuals, having a bit of a chat, and then pursuing that. Connect with people and pursue it. Stay in contact. You never know when you're going to end up bumping into someone again. Knowing that there's someone there that when you get to a place is super cool.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love that. And I know sometimes I'll go on Airbnb and do the Airbnb experiences. I think you've done
Totally.
those as well. Yeah.
Loads of
And
them. I love it.
yeah. I think that can be a great way, especially for like someone like myself who's a bit shy. And even though I don't find it easy to go up and talk to people, doesn't mean I shouldn't, but sometimes when I want a little extra push, just signing up for an Airbnb experience that you can usually tell if it's a local who's
Yeah.
offering this experience and if it's something that they're really interested in and passionate about. And it's such a cool way to not only meet a local, but also get to know a lot of stuff about the culture and the area that you wouldn't necessarily have learned by like Googling it or even talking to someone in a cafe about it or that kind of thing. So I find
Yeah.
that can be pretty helpful too.
I like that. I also think I used to be, this is my first ever time to Phuket back when I was 19. And the guy's like, oh, I'll just take you to the orchid farm and then I'll just take you to the diamond
Yeah.
sapphire factory. And you're thinking of, I
Yeah.
just want to fucking go home. But
Yeah.
sometimes like if let your tuk-tuk driver or whatever take you to a few places.
Yeah.
That's how they make their money. Let them take you to the fan
Yeah.
factory or the ceramics or
Yeah.
like let them do that a few times too, because you'll end up they'll be grateful. You'll have better chats in the back of the tuk-tuk. Like just
Yes.
let yourself kind of be used a little bit. Because
Yeah.
what's the harm? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's like it's such a small way to kind of give back because
Yeah.
it doesn't mean, what's another 30 minutes or hour of your day when you're already
Mhm.
out and it's something new anyway that you're exploring. To them,
Yeah.
it means a lot. So that's really important too. So I guess you're heading back to Thailand pretty soon. You said toward
Yeah.
the end of this year, right? So about a
Yeah.
month
Christmas Eve.
from
Yeah.
now. Very
Yep.
nice. And you've got your next retreat happening in January, right?
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about how you continue to host this retreat at the same venue, and I would love for you to share a little bit about why you keep going back to that venue, maybe a little bit from a business perspective, and then also from if there's a more personal draw to it as well.
Okay, so from a business perspective, the margins make sense.
Hmm.
It's a good money maker for me. It's affordable. It's different to everything else pretty much that's in the market because,
Yeah.
it's not a normal place and it's just plug and play. They are set up for managing groups who are more demanding than my groups will ever be. So it's a
Hmm.
great business relationship. They're grateful to have us. They find us to be an easy group to manage. And it's just from the minute that I get there, it's all just set out and it just runs itself. So it's a great money maker. It differentiates me in the market and it's easy to run. So
Yeah.
that's the business part. The personal part is I love it there.
Yeah.
And the founders of the place where I go, it's a not-for-profit. They do stuff with the UN and great stuff around cutting down on human trafficking and supporting feminism and nonviolent communication. They've been doing it for years. And those two people who set the center up have just been powerful role models in my life. And so it's my way of going back and just saying hi.
That's awesome. And it's great that you brought up that you love it because something that I've learned from you, from working with you in the past, is that it's important to you to make sure you're enjoying yourself when it comes to business. Because I know that I've learned that kind of the hard way. Like, as entrepreneurs, it can be so
Mm,
easy to burn ourselves out and keep
mm,
pushing at something that may not even work out in the end. And so for you to keep coming back to this venue, not only because it makes sense business wise, but you really just truly enjoy doing it, I think is
mm.
such a simple yet crucial idea for any business owner to
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
capitalize on. I'm glad that you brought that up because sometimes we just need a reminder to like keep it simple, firstly, because that goes back to the business side. And
Mm,
like, of course, it's a lot nicer on you as a business owner that you don't have to go jump through all of these hoops to find a new venue every year and create everything new, all of the marketing and the website and all of this, and not know what to expect going into it and not know what the partnership
yeah.
will be, like all of that shit, right? Like,
It's a
but
lot.
then,
It's
yeah,
I've
yeah,
had some colossal that didn't work of those. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've also been through that and
Oh
you've
God.
learned, okay, yeah.
I remember being at a conference, big, fancy, got to wear all the right outfits conference in Paris, business entrepreneur conference. On the break, I was punching out my freaking newsletter. Everyone else has gone off to lunch, and I'm like freaking doing the newsletter in the
Mhm.
ballroom as everybody's coming back in from their fabulous Parisian lunch, and I'm hitting send on my newsletter. Someone said to me, "Oh, Amy, you're living the dream. You're a digital nomad."
Mhm.
And I thought, this is hell. This is not my dream. I've been fighting with my Airbnb host because the Wi-Fi is garbage. I've been trying to see clients in the foyer of hotels that I'm not staying at because it was horrible. It was so stressful. And particularly for people who are just sort of embarking on this journey, it might take you a little while to figure out what your version of being location independent or a traveling entrepreneur actually looks like. And it's very romanticized. I was doing all the things that I thought was cool to do and I hated it, and that's okay too. Just because
Mhm.
it's what everybody else seems to be loving, that firstly, we don't know if they love it. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't love it. Maybe they're
Yep.
also tearing their hair out like I was. Maybe you're living someone else's dream, which is what I was doing. Be gentle with yourself while you figure out, maybe, I love the idea of going to Thailand, except when I get there, I kind of hate it because it's hot and it stinks. And I don't know, whatever. I can't
Yeah.
find anything gluten-free to save my life, or whatever your thing is. That's
Right.
okay. The way that it seems to be working for everybody else on the internet doesn't have to be the way that it works well for you.
Thank you for bringing that up. And definitely in the last 3 years, I've learned that in my own ways as well. And when I started traveling and growing my business, and really that was around the time I was
Yeah.
lucky enough to start working with you and learn a thing or two about balance and setting
Mm,
boundaries. And
mm,
that's one of the reasons why I wanted to even start this podcast because
mm.
I think I know what my life looks like on Instagram, and it is that. It's not fake. And at the same time, like it took so much trial and error of doing too much in one place and traveling too much and overdoing it here and there to actually find a balance that works for me. And
Yeah.
like you said, for everyone, it's going to be different. And
Yeah.
if the full-time travel doesn't work, but 2 weeks every couple of months works and you take your business on the road and you feel good and you don't burn out, then that's amazing. And
Totally.
learning as you go, I think, is something that will happen with this lifestyle. And I love that you have figured out something that works great for you. And I'm excited for you to get back to Thailand and eat that wonderful vegan pad thai and all of that incredible food at the retreat, especially.
I forgot to mention the food. Oh my God, how could I
Oh,
forget to? It's
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So good. I think the curries were my favorite, as they
Mm.
usually are. I know we just lived for mealtime at that retreat, and I have to say my experience joining you this year was really eye-opening and so welcomed. And I think I joined you the year that I really should have been there, and I
Mm.
had all of this space and time and support to just get back to being myself again
I
and really,
love
like,
that.
yeah, to just reflect and step back and just kind of feel into what I was doing, not only with travel, but with my business. So, yeah, I appreciate
Mm.
that experience. One of the things that drew me to that experience specifically was that it is an experience that I had not created time and an opportunity for myself in the year that I was in Thailand. And we got to go
Mm.
spend time in a local village and empty our toilets with a bucket. And
That sounds more disgusting than it actually is. Can I just flush the toilet with the
yeah.
bucket? Not
Yes, sorry. Yeah,
just to
no.
be clear, if anybody's like, oh, I was thinking about it, but hell no.
So
Poor
sorry
Ali
about
was
that.
so
Um,
cold the whole time because it was northern Thailand. And I just
yeah.
remember you with the layers.
Oh yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I had a scarf and all the things, and I'm used to just being in Phuket and in the tropics, like,
The humidity. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So it was not only a growth experience, but I love to be pushed outside of my comfort zone. And
Mm,
I think the longer you do something, for me traveling, I kind of got
mm,
comfortable in those cute coffee shops and with my,
mhm, mm.
my almond lattes and with the other digital nomads. And it really pushed me out of that comfort zone in like all of the best ways. I do really recommend anyone wants to travel or just spend outside of what they're used to have an experience like that, because it just makes me think like, why am I doing this if I'm not creating space for these types of experiences? So grateful for you for facilitating that.
Oh, I'm really glad that you came. And can we just say for your listeners that of the very, very fortuitous tire puncture that you had, if it wasn't for this random tire puncture, we found the best cafe ever that was also an art gallery that also had all the things. Did someone say brownies? So that cafe is now on the agenda for this coming retreat. Thanks very much to your tire puncture.
Yeah, well, I want photos. And just make sure that those bikes, they are fully pumped up.
To the degree that it's possible.
Yes. Yeah, but I loved it. Such a great experience. Thank you so much, Amy, for this conversation. It was super fun, and I hope you'll come back again and we can chat more. Maybe after the next Thailand trip, you can tell us some stories. And in the meantime, where can we find you? Let us know what you're up to and how we can stay in touch with you.
So you can find me on Instagram at Amy Yoga Biz Coach, and I have a podcast. It's called Abundant Yoga Teacher or Teachers. I can't remember. But if you start off the sentence, the app will find. Yeah, the app will tell you. It's got me wearing a god awful pair of leggings, so that's the one. Okay. Look for the ugly leggings and you'll know you're at the right podcast. Yeah.
Wonderful. And are you still accepting guests for your upcoming retreat, or have you filled up?
We've got space if anybody would like to come along. Cool. For sure. Yeah.
Nice.
I think this is the first time I've said it in a public forum. I think next year, 2025, will be the last one. I think.
We'll see. I feel like you may have said that before, but
I know, it's like Tom Jones. It's the final tour. Yeah. No, it's the final tour. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everyone get into that while you can. It won't be around forever. And thanks again, Amy. This was fun. I appreciate you. It was great to connect again, and we'll talk to you again soon. That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining me, and until next time, let's stay connected. Follow me on Instagram at Ali Temple Yoga. Join us in the Traveling Wellnesspreneurs Facebook group. And if you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. See you next time.